Well, good morning, YouTube people. How you doing out there? Just stumbled upon this story about this so-called pastor who scammed the churches out of 9 million. And real quick and to the point, the bottom line is this: it's real simple. In my mind, these pastors were gullible. They wanted something for nothing. Somebody in one of the commentaries made a prominent point that, because I actually saw this on Newsline or whatever, the actual program, and someone made a point that, hey, these people are talking about getting all of this money to get a building for their church or whatever. Meanwhile, this church has 12 members. No, you don't need a building, brother. You need to bring the word of God to those 12 people. After all, I believe Christ had 12 disciples. Look at the impact he had on them. And guess what? He didn't need a $500,000 building to do it. He didn't need a Rolls Royce. Or none of that. People, I wish and pray that people would wise up, use the common sense and spiritual discernment that God has given you, a sound mind, common sense, spiritual discernment, to kind of purge yourself from the lunacy of the TD Jakes, the Bishop Longs, the Juanita Bynums, the Creflo Dollars, all of these people that are out here just scamming money in a despicable manner, calling themselves doing God's service. Come on, man. Come on, let's just stop it. And what happens is there's often an argument. The argument normally goes to the effect of, if I argue against this so-called prosperity crap, and that's exactly what it is, the argument is usually, oh, well, God can make us rich and da-da-da-da, and that's in the Bible. We're not supposed to be poor and busted and all this other kind of stuff like that. And I totally agree. I don't think as people serving the Lord that we have to be poor and scraping around from hand to mouth trying to eat. But is there not a middle ground? Who says that in order to be blessed that you must have a Mercedes-Benz, that you must have 10 houses, you must fly around in a $10 million jet? What is the middle ground? Is there not, if I have a modest home and God bless me with a job to pay for that home or small business or whatever, and a modest car, and food is on my table on a regular basis, and my bills are routinely paid for the most part, and my kids are healthy, and my marriage is halfway solid, is that not a blessing in and of itself? When God speaks on prosperity, I really believe that it's not just solely monetary. It's not just solely about money, man, because people have tens of billions of dollars, are not even serving God at all. And guess what? Even with that money, they got psychiatrists and they're taking antidepressants because their lives are screwed up. That ain't prosperous. You know what I'm saying? Prosperous is a guy that may make less than $100,000 a year, but once again, he has a decent roof over his head. He can eat. His family is well. That to me, that's prosperity. That's prosperity, not just money in and of itself. You know what I mean? And then I'm trying to figure out, where does all of this high living, how does that glorify God? Creflo Dollar flying around the jet, what does that do to glorify God? Christian is to be Christ-like. Did Christ come down in $1 million jet, on a Learjet or whatever? No, he didn't. So, I think this whole prosperity thing is out of control. Even those in the Bible who are biblically blessed, if you do your research, a lot of them didn't just wait for God to hand them something out of the sky. A lot of them are blessed because they took what God gave them, whatever talents or whatever they gave them, and put it to work. And put it to work. But there's too many people that want something for nothing, are not even really trying to even live by God, and are concerned about getting the money, so they support these jackleg preachers that sell this nonsense, and in the process they get played out, and these pimps in the pulpit get rich. You know, and it's a darn shame. And at the end of the day, you go to any Christian bookstore in the country, the books that are usually in the top selling list are not the ones about how to be more spiritual, how to be a more effective prayer warrior. None of that. The top 10 selling, I'll bet you any amount of money, the top books in any Christian bookstore deal with prosperity, not about how to be more spiritual. So the question is, what is your motivation? You want to get paid, or do you want to develop a relationship with Christ? What do you want to do? You know, that's the question. If you want to get paid, you don't even got to serve God for that. You know, the majority of the people in this world that are very rich have done it. Either they've done it in an ungodly manner, or if they earned it legit and morally, they're not using it for God's purposes. They're using it to do whatever they want to do. So either way, to pimp, to strut with these $3,000 suits on, coming out of your Rolls Royce, that ain't glorifying God, bro. That's like, you know, that's glorifying yourself. God ain't about that, bro. Sorry, the Bible doesn't teach that. It just doesn't. So, I'm gonna give this fool $3,000, and he's gonna give me back $500,000 in 90 days or 30 days or whatever it is. Come on, just stop the madness. Stop the madness. Stop the madness.